I am going to go down one by one all the Super Tuesday states, starting with the states with the most number of delegates, going down. There are 14 states and one territory. I have no idea how the territory is going to vote, but I have been following polls for some time. So these predictions are, if anything, 50% polls, 50% just gut feeling, just, yeah, finger to the wind, how I feel. Don't take them too seriously. Number one, California. You have 415 delegates. California is, of course, the biggest state in the primary, and Bernie has been surging for weeks. So it's safe to say I would think that Bernie's going to win this state. At the same time, the question is by what margin? Of course, if no other candidate meets the 15% threshold, he could take all of the 415 delegates that are up for grabs. That would be amazing. Is that going to happen? I just feel like after South Carolina and after all these other moderates have dropped out and endorsed Biden, Biden's going to hit 15. I'm sure he's going to hit a good bit more. Warren, I don't think she's going to hit the 15% threshold. Again, gut feeling. And that's still good news for Bernie if that ends up being the case. All right, that's the first state. Texas, 228 pledged delegates up for grabs. I'm guessing Bernie wins, but not by quite as big a margin. And any win in Texas is great. Like, if you look at Texas, not just as in a Democratic primary, but if you look at Texas as a state, as a general election state, this was strongly Republican for the longest time, has only recently been leaning toward Democrats. You're looking at suburban voters. They tend to favor Biden in general. That's Biden's demographic. But there are a lot of immigrants that have been moving from California, Latinos, that have been moving to Texas. So that's changed demographics over the years. Any win for Bernie, again, is great. So if Bernie gets this, that's a win. North Carolina, 110 delegates, the third biggest state. This one, I'm going to have to say is going to go to Biden. If for no other reason, he just won South Carolina, their neighbor to the south. It's very likely that the polls are probably going to underestimate Biden's appeal. Gut feeling. If you're if you're organizing in North Carolina for Bernie, I wish you the best. Not trying to rain on your parade. Virginia, 99 pledged delegates, Biden. Massachusetts, 91. 91 pledged delegates. A lot of people have been talking about how Warren's going to lose to Bernie on this state and how it's going to be so embarrassing for Warren. I'm biased. It could be because I have admired Warren for some time, but I am feeling that she's going to somehow pull a win off here. I don't know. Minnesota, 75 pledged delegates. This is an interesting state because Amy would have won this state hands down if she hadn't dropped out. If Amy Klobuchar had just stayed in the race a little bit longer, she would have won this state. Every poll said so. Now, she endorsed Biden just last minute. But I do not think all her voters are just going to uniformly transfer to Biden because of that. I don't. Bernie was polling consistently number 2 for several weeks, and I think he's still going to be able now to win Minnesota. Just my bold prediction. Don't have to stake your life on this bet, huh? Colorado, 67 pledged delegates, Bernie Sanders. I say this pretty strongly. Nate Silver himself had a very large percentage likelihood of Bernie winning. I think you have to give credit where due to David Sirota, who I know works for the Bernie campaign in Colorado. I don't know his exact position, but you see how involved he is, how active he is on Twitter. I get a sense, and there are literally people who are commenting on my Instagram saying they just voted for Bernie in Colorado. Mga Pinoys yata, di ako sure. So there's that. Why do I keep pushing the rug that you guys are on? Alabama, 52 pledged delegates. Oklahoma, 37 pledged delegates. Arkansas, 31 pledged delegates. Tennessee, 24 pledged delegates. These 4 states, I'm guessing, are going to go for Biden. You're looking at mostly southern states here. It favored him in the polls. The margins will probably vary, but that's my general feeling. And then, next 3, I'm guessing we'll go for Bernie. Maine, 24 pledged delegates. They have him up there by a huge margin. Bernie's probably, I'm feeling he's gonna win this one by could be a landslide. Utah has been showing favorability toward Bernie, and I think I was looking at polls of Latinos from Utah, and it was looking quite good for Bernie. Not far from Nevada, could be a similar demographic that puts Bernie on the top. Vermont, last but not least, it is the smallest state, but I mean, come on, this is Bernie. Bernie's probably going to win every single one of those 16 delegates. It's possible. The question is just how big the margin will he win by. It's his home state. These are just my random predictions. To summarize the long and short of it, Bernie's been doing really well for several months in the polls. Well, Bernie's has been steadily rising over the course of the campaign ever since the heart attack he had back in, was it October? AOC endorsed him right after, and it's just been an up and up, gradual up and up ever since. Now, the last few weeks particularly had a pretty higher incline rise as he started winning the early states. But you don't know what's going to happen. The moderates are very much falling in line to consolidate the moderate vote. And could that take away some of Bernie's momentum? That, we're about to find out a few hours after I upload this. It could go either way, folks. I don't know. But, whoever you're organizing, or I hope you're phone banking, making calls, talking to your neighbors, whatever it is, I hope you guys are doing your best, even after Super Tuesday, to help make it happen. Yeah, I'll just upload more random thoughts.